Hello, welcome, merry meet. We are two friends, Med,
And Emma.
revisiting our love for all things witchy, magical, and paranormal.
This podcast is us feeling our way through exploring all the possibilities, and we'd like to invite you along for the journey. Hi, Witchy Wanderers. Welcome to September's episode of Which Way Next. We're diving into the changing seasons and all things Maybon. But before we dive into that magic, let's catch up a bit on what's been happening since our last episode. So, Med, what have you been getting up to since our last episode?
So obviously we went to Camp Wildfire. We've talked about that many times on here. We had a blast. It was lovely to be back in those woods and to catch up with our lovely friends who we don't see often enough. And also, I just love working with people, especially the people that the energy of Camp Wildfire attracts. To do the workshops all weekend in beautiful woods with beautiful people is just so rewarding. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I'm sure you did too.
Oh, I had an amazing time. I absolutely loved going back. I only did one weekend. I did the families one, so Camp Kindling, and it was just it was so lovely to be there and meet up with people we hadn't seen in such a long time, and all the families. And people, they come back year after year, and it's so lovely. And we're watching the children grow, aren't we?
Yeah,
And it's just a lovely atmosphere. It really is a lovely atmosphere. And yeah, I'm so glad I got that opportunity again.
me too. And yeah, like you said, I found that the most rewarding part was that people were coming back to my workshop and they were voicing that they'd come back year after year to that same workshop, even though there's such a vast variety of activities available for them, because they wanted to see me again and they loved my energy and they enjoyed my workshop. And you couldn't get any better than that as a reward for doing something you love. So yeah, I
No, you can't.
feel really blessed to be of being part of that. And yeah, that was great.
So have you got an update on how Sage is getting on?
Yes, I do. Sage is doing really well. Her fur, oh my God, it's looking so much better now. It's like actually looking a bit glossy even. It's almost all completely filled in. So I'm really pleased. And yeah, no more itching, which is great. Uh,
I just thought, actually, if people hadn't listened to our last episode, because we've had some technical issues, didn't we? They
yeah,
might not even know what Sage is.
they're like, what's she doing with her sage bundle? Why has it got fur?
In the damp too long.
So if you didn't listen to our last episode, me and Emma have taken on rescue puppies. They're brother and sister. Sadly, they had a really sad start to life. They were found taped in a box in a field. They were covered in mange. But they're both doing so well. So I've got Sage, the girl, and you've got the boy.
Yeah, I've got Kiyoshi.
So how's he doing?
Sorry?
How's he doing?
He's doing so well. I mean, he's getting massive. He's so big now. Well, I say he's really big, but he's still a puppy. I mean, what are they, about 12 weeks now, I think, estimated. So he's still tiny, but he's a lot bigger than when we first got him. He has huge amount of energy, and he's turning out to be quite good at being trained as well. He's learnt to sit, he'll wait as well. So yeah, it's been great fun having him around.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, obviously, Sage is really small compared to other dogs, and I think she's quite a small puppy in general. But compared to when we got her, she's like 3 times as the size. She's so big. So I just keep looking at her thinking, you're massive now. But really, she's actually a dinky little thing. And she is also very clever and great at being trained. She sits for food. She knows what stay means. She gets a bit boisterous because where the mange kind of really affected her skin, she hasn't been able to be immunised yet. But she will finally be having her first immunisations on Tuesday, so then we can get her out for a walk and get some of that energy out of her. But apart from that, I can't fault her. She's doing so well with everything. She's just a bit too clever. Like, she knows if she asks to go out to the toilet and she goes to the toilet outside, then she'll get a treat. But she'll try and pretend to go out to the toilet to be outside. Just get the treat. And we're like, we can see you. You may be clever, but we also have brains. She's quite cheeky.
Oh, that's so lovely. I'm so pleased that we've been able to take them on and give them a new start.
Definitely.
Anything else to update us with, or?
I mean, my life is busy, 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 but it's all boring, mundane stuff that I don't think people need to hear about.
I know the feeling.
So, yeah, life is stressful at the moment. There's lots going on, but on the witchy front, I've been trying really hard to get back into meditation, to do my spell work, and I am finding that a haven amongst all of the chaos. I still need to up it and do it a bit more than I am, but I am getting better at making space to do it, which it was definitely something I spoke about, I think, in the last episode. So yeah, that's happening. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have got some news.
What?
I completely forgot. So I had my wedding anniversary. And
yeah.
my husband, bless him, suggested we go to Avebury Stones. So I went to visit the stones for the first time, and oh my God, it was the most magical day. And I did like some blessings with the stones. And yeah, I just absolutely love it there. And I will be sharing that in the Patreon. I just haven't had a chance because I've been so busy since that was just on Saturday. Now we're on Thursday. But yeah, I'll be sharing all the photos and things and about my day and my experience there in the Which Way Next Patreon.
Yay. I can't wait to see them all. Oh, actually, I've probably seen some anyway. But yeah. Oh, that's lovely. I keep meaning to go and do day trips and stuff like that, but it's really difficult when you've got a puppy in the house.
Definitely.
So any of that has been put on hold for the moment. But we've got a bit of an idea, haven't we, of a day trip we're going to do together. So
yes, we need to get planning for sure.
we do. Yeah, we need to get that sorted. So hopefully we'll be able to update on that next month.
Yes, definitely. Hopefully it will have happened by then.
Yeah.
And so yeah, watch out in the Patreon if you are on our Patreon. We'll obviously be giving you updates on that.
Yeah. Well, I've just been pottering around. I don't feel like I've got any other like news to give anyone. I had a bit of a lull in my creative mojo. So I don't know. Maybe I just needed a rest and, sit back and not have anything to sort of think about, and that I've gone and binge watched stuff on TV and doing all of that kind of thing. And yeah, I totally had lost my creative mojo. But I went to a really good workshop that a friend of mine was running the other day, and she was teaching us how to fold books to make them into a vase and then make paper flowers to put into your book vase. And oh my God, it was just such a really lovely sort of relaxing thing to do. It's something about paper folding. It's quite mindful, I guess. And just going to that workshop has actually helped me get my creative hat back on.
Amazing. So you've got that little spark of creativity, and that's all you need, isn't it? Just a little spark, and then it's like starting a fire and you're all creative again.
That's it. It's
Although sometimes with ADHD, the fire gets out of control and then you've got too many projects and it all burns out again. In my case. You're quite good at keeping your creative mojo going, I think. You're always crafting.
Yeah. I mean, I it doesn't last long if I'm not feeling just not feeling it. You know, sometimes I'll keep looking. I've got so many craft supplies, and I'll look at them and I'll be like, I just don't get inspired. And that's how going to the craft workshops really helps me. You know, I know I run them myself, but me going and learning from someone else something new helps me with my creativity as well. So it's, yeah, so that was really fun. Really enjoyed doing that. On the sort of magic side of things, I haven't done a lot. I did on the first of the month, I drew some cards and I changed my altar up a little bit. I'd given it a clean and put new stuff. And I did my door cleanse.
And I remembered to do the cinnamon glow, which I never remember for myself.
Yeah.
I remind people in my Woodland Moon Vibes group to do it. And I'm like, I'll do that later. And I never do it, but I did it this time. It may have been 11 p.m., but I did it.
You know what? It doesn't matter, even if it's the next day. You know, the calendar's made up.
I know, but
It's fine. A day or two
something to
either
me to
side.
remember to do that and to go into, even though it may not really be the first, it is the calendar we're going by. So to me, it's like a new start to like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, I did my door cleanse and immediately the dogs jumped up at it and left my muddy footprints again. But hey, you know, it was
The
down.
energy was still in it.
It was.
They were just adding a bit of their own.
It's never looked so clean ever. I mean, I used like a what's it called? Pink stuff. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Oh
Oh,
my
you did a
God.
real cleanse. I thought it just meant like with like infused stuff for energy and like essential oils and stuff.
I went the whole hog. So I made up a solution of my own as well. So that had you know, sort of what did I have in it? There was cider vinegar in it because it's great for cleansing anyway. And then I added some various herbs and things to it that would help, you know, with the cleansing energy. But I did have to get, you know, the hard stuff out the cupboard as well.
So you did that first and then you did your energetic cleansing. Awesome.
Yeah, so it was
every way.
Yeah, properly cleansed. It's never looked so clean in the 21 years that we've lived here. So.
Brilliant. It does make a difference to you though, isn't it? Just to have the front of your house even sorted. Like when I obviously I worked hard on my front garden and my porch over the summer, and it makes a difference just walking up to the house. It makes you feel more positive about walking into the house.
Absolutely. I do think that it's really important that, you know, even if you can only do one little space in your house or in your garden, that can be enough it almost does a head cleanse for you as well.
100%.
I think like with my my creative mojo, that was being blocked by, we've got things like the dog pen crate is actually in front of part of it. Also, certain people in the house keep just dumping stuff on my craft table, and just moving those things as well helps me to be more inspired to do stuff, because if it's all messy, I don't want to sit down there. I get overwhelmed. And so yeah, a couple of days ago I literally just blitzed the whole of my craft table. I got things like, there's a picture that I bought last year and I love it. It really, I feel like I get drawn into this picture. It's amazing, but it's just been sat on my desk in front of me, and I actually hung it on the wall. So it's right there in front of me instead of it being sat on my desk. And it's just, I don't know, it's really cleared my head. And I think actually a lot of this is all linking in with Maybon as well, because, you know, I'm letting some things go, you know, I'm getting clearing out, and, you know, and I'm ready for the new season. I'm getting a bit of balance back in my life. So
that's what I was about to say, that what you're saying is really in keeping with the episode, because it's all about changing seasons, how that affects us, how we can kind of move with it to, like you said, let go of the old and bring in the new. And I do feel like was thinking to myself the other day, like, I didn't feel like I had like the typical spring clean that we talk about this year, but I'm having more of an autumn clean.
Yeah.
Doing those little things. And it's funny you talked about putting the picture up on the wall, and I finally put up the 3 pictures I brought for my living room the other day, and just seeing that one little change when I walk in my living room makes me feel different about being in my living room now. I just feel
Yeah.
like I always felt like that wall um just it was too blank and it needed something. And now when I walk in, I feel like it like makes me feel, I don't know, it just makes you feel different when the room reflects you as a person and feels like a place you want to be in, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm all for personalizing places. There's nothing worse than sitting staring at a blank wall or at something, a wall where there's things on it that you're like, no, that's not me anymore, or that's not I'm not getting anything out of that.
Yeah.
If I'm sat there, I mean, I'm quite, in a way, it's a bit different for me in our living room. If I'm sat watching telly, I see straight out the front window. So the world's always changing out there. And, so it's kind of, yeah, it's not like I'm staring at a wall particularly. Yeah. So like on my craft table, if I was sat there and it was just a blank wall in front of me, it would be I don't know, just not very inspiring. But instead I've got pictures that I like, and there's mirrors on the wall, so everything in the room is kind of, I can look and I see in something different and a different perspective and everything. So yeah, you have to make it your own. It's got to feel comfortable for you. And definitely keep it decluttered as well. I mean, I like things. I mean, my walls have got lots of stuff on them. We have lots of paintings and things. That's what I love. But at the same time, I don't want things being in the wrong place because that clutters my mind. Yeah, I just want to be able to relax. And like you said, it's just making it your own, isn't it? And feeling like part of you. It's part of you.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't like blank walls. I like to have um nice decorative things on them, but my bugbear is surfaces being cluttered. So like
Mm.
I work really hard to clear my dining table in my living room. I don't have a dining room, so it's all in one. Um, but people are always just putting stuff on there, and then I begrudge them putting the stuff on there when I've just done it, so I leave it for them to do, but nobody else does it. So it just becomes a pile. And so
Yeah.
I voiced this yet again last week because I've been sorting the place out. It's done again, but I have told them if they keep cluttering it, I'm just going to get rid of the dining table because I'm fed up with it. I can't use it when it's like that, and I like to use my dining table, one for crafts, two for actually sitting as a family and eating.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't get used, and it becomes a place where people are putting stuff on, and that's
The
just not
dumping
me.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't deal with clutter. I'd rather just throw everything out.
Yeah. See, we've got very similar like front room arrangement, haven't we? In that we both have our dining table in our living room.
Yeah.
So it's all in one, isn't it? And I mean, we use our table all the time, and we do not eat sitting on the sofa. So if people started putting things on my dining table, I would hate it. I like the fact that we have a rule that we don't sit on the sofa because everyone knows that the dining table's got to be kept clear.
So moving on, I feel like we've kind of covered the subject a bit anyway, but today we are talking about changing seasons, and we'll go on to talk a bit about Maybon, the festival. Okay, so let's get into what is the autumn equinox, or Maybon, if you prefer to call it that. To me, it's a really special time of year. It means we can hit the pause button. It's kind of that time where the days are becoming darker. We're going from the lighter months to the darker months. And nature kind of nudges us to slow down and take a breath. So it's a really good time to pause and give thanks for everything we've harvested in our lives over those lighter months, and to gather in the little fruits, whether that's actual fruits from your garden, and using that in a practical sense, or spiritually thinking of your personal growth, what you've experienced, the seeds you've laid for yourself. And now we're seeing the fruits of our labour. And as we move into this time of year, it's an opportunity to reflect and let go of those things we don't need anymore and really settle in and get cozy for those darker months. So whether you celebrate this as Maybon or just think of it as that cozy time of year, we're all for it. Let's dive in.
So let's have a look at the history of the autumn equinox. Now, it's been celebrated in loads of different ways across cultures and traditions for a very long time. And in fact, it's one of those moments in the year that people have always noticed and found meaning in. So, for example, many of us have celebrated the Harvest Festival at school, which it's got its roots in Christian traditions. Did you do that at school, Mid?
Yes, I used to love it. I loved anything where kind of community comes together in a positive way and does something kind of like a ritual. I think it was the little witch in me.
Yeah, the same. I mean, I really loved that as well. I mean, it was a huge marker in your school year, wasn't it? And all the families, they'd all send you in with like a tin of peaches or something like that. And gather them together, and then those were actually handed out to people that might not be so fortunate. But it was that you're kind of reaping in all of your harvest, and it is that massive community thing. And
100%.
yeah, and that's what I love about this time of year as well. Um so yeah, we did the Harvest Festival at school, which kind of works with my collecting thing.
Can I just share this little story?
Oh, go on.
Because you're reminding me, I feel like I'm there. So my school was a small primary school in quite a small area, and we had local ties with the local church. And so a big part of any festival like this, and this festival in particular, is we would all donate those things to that school. But then there was a special day where we'd all carry one of the things each and walk from the school to the church and lay it down with everything that the community had brought in the area. It was a really big part of my childhood, that and Christmas, because we also used to do our nativity at the local church. And so when it came to performing that, we perform it to the whole community yet again. And I remember on the day of the nativity, we all had to carry a chair each to the
Yeah.
church for us to kind of sit on while we're performing. And yeah, I just loved those times of the year where it felt like we were doing something not just for our school, but for everyone.
Yeah. It's a great time. I mean, the end of harvest, people getting together. I imagine that, all the men particularly were working really hard in the fields and gathering in all the crops and everything. And at the end of it, having this nice big party and drinking their cider and all that kind of thing. And it's celebrated in so many different ways. And yeah, it's just a beautiful time of year.
Yeah.
um I did a little bit of delving as well, because I mean, it's the actual equinox. I've never really thought about it as something that I've celebrated. It happens, and particularly with the school festival and everything. But obviously we talked about it being called Maybon, and I didn't realize that was like from the 1970s. There was me thinking this was a name for it for way back in history, but it's really modern. It's only like a couple of years older than me. But yeah, apparently it was a guy called Aidan Kelly, sorry, and he was the founder of the Covenant of the Goddess. And he'd recognised that people do celebrate this time of year and wanted to give it its own name. And he used I think it was something to do with Welsh. Who was it? I'm trying to think now. My brain's something in Welsh mythology anyway. And so the name came from that. Mabon ap Madron, that was it. And it means the son of mother. But he used that, and that became the name. Lots of pagans, Wiccans, and witches, and whoever, they now use that word. So, but it doesn't really matter what we call it. It is something that's been celebrated for a long time. We have that human impulse to mark that shift in the seasons and give thanks and just find a bit of balance at the end of the day, whatever resonates with us.
Yes, 100%. I mean, we've spoken about that before on the podcast, but just to reiterate, I think that it doesn't matter what background you come from, what religion you are, whether you use any religions. I think what's important is kind of, what you're doing things from, you have the right intentions. And for me, I just take a bit of kind of everything and see what resonates with me and what I feel is authentic. And I celebrate it in that way. I do use the word Mabon just because I like the word and I feel like it resonates as to marking the time of year. But I also use Autumn Equinox. So I think it's just a special time of year and I feel the energy of it. And I think that's the important part.
Yeah, absolutely. Weirdly, it's got links. Not weird. It's not weird that it has links to this, but it's like being in the crone phase of being a witch now. I feel like I am in my autumn equinox of life. And hopefully I'm starting to reap all the benefits of all the things I've been doing over the years. I'll be 50 next year. And it's that you feel wiser for everything, and you let go of stuff that no longer serves you. And so that autumn equinox is you can actually put it into your whole life and look at it that way. And I'm quite enjoying my autumn equinox of life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit younger than you, but I feel kind of similar. I've always been older beyond my years. Trauma does that for you. But
I was like, do I laugh at that or not?
I laugh at it because that's also a trauma thing. I have that dark sense of humor. But yeah, I definitely am in that point of my life where I have been for a while, where I don't take any rubbish from anyone. I'm quick to cut people off if I see toxic traits, etc. And I just have that confidence in myself that I know what's positive for me and what's negative, and I block all negativity and embrace the positive. And I think it takes a certain amount of self-empowerment to do that and to be able to let go of things, because generally as a person I'm very empathic and very compassionate, and I want to see the best in people, and I always have, and I want to see the best in any situation and be part of things, if you know what I mean. So it takes a lot to stop holding on to that and try and make things work when they're clearly just not for you. Sometimes the universe makes it clear things are not for you. Stay away from them. But you're like, but friends, but this, but success. But they're not the right place. And yeah, it takes a certain amount of maturing to say, okay, well, you can't have that because it's not right for you.
Yeah. I totally feel that. But it is that it's all about finding that balance. you know, whether it, you know, when we're talking about the autumn equinox, we're talking about the fact that day and night are finally balanced, aren't they? And you know, so if we are talking about our whole life, it is, you know, getting to that point where you are finding balance, and you know that you can allow certain things to come in, but those need to be offset as well. And you know, it's like with us, we tend to we like our social situations. I know I sound like I don't like social situations half the time, but we do like to do those things. But at the end of the day, you know, we need a couple of days recovering after as well. So, and it
And it's
is
that
all,
acceptance of that.
and yeah, it is that acceptance of it, knowing that, you know, we shouldn't be telling ourselves off for the fact that we need to have a couple of days of quiet after having one busy day talking to lots of people, and you know, or going all over the place, or whatever it is that you're doing. You need that rest. So yeah, the balance side of it is really very important.
Definitely. So yeah, I guess that's where, I mean, we've just talked about that, and then when we were doing the catch up, we kind of touched on the whole kind of letting go of things and bringing in the new and renewing our spaces, and that all comes kind of into the spiritual side of what I see the autumn equinox to be. So like we've said, this is a time for renewal, for reflection, bringing everything into balance. And so there are a few things we can do around this time for ourselves spiritually. So journaling, maybe putting in a bit of shadow work. We have a balance and gratitude journal page for September in our full moon circle tier on Patreon. And that is all about calling into pausing and reflecting and welcoming balance. So it draws on the kind of autumn equinox, and that's something you can obviously do for yourself as well. Gratitude is all something that's really important in general, but it's a great time to start practicing gratitude if it's not something you usually do. So you could just think of or write down 3 things that you're grateful for each day. So that brings us into the witchcraft side of things and the rituals we can do around this time of year. We're going to share with you some of the kind of crystals and plants and things that kind of correspond with the autumn equinox. And we can touch on some of the spell work we can do around this time. So trees are a massive part of autumn. Obviously, that's one of the biggest things we notice ourselves in autumn is the changing of the trees, the leaves starting to change colour, becoming a beautiful array of colours, and then ultimately falling off. And then we have bare trees. So we see the whole cycle of renewal kind of happening in front of us, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. I guess that's part of the reason wood and trees are used so often in witchcraft. So for your Mabon altar, you could definitely use some sticks or twigs that you find if parts speak to you. So simply by just taking a walk outside and noticing all these changes around you and connecting with the world around you, maybe go up and touch the tree, take a few breaths, thank it for the changing seasons and for the blessings that are coming into your life. Maybe collect some items such as acorns, twigs, anything you can kind of forage and use in your own practices or use to display on your altars. There's so many things you could do. You could make a wand out of one of the sticks you found.
Do you know what? I absolutely love this time of year, going for walks and, you know, noticing the changing leaves. I'm still stuck in that thing where, you know, when you're a kid and you obviously, having listened to some of the other episodes, it gets mentioned, I like collecting. And there's nothing that brings me more joy than walking along and picking up a leaf that has changed colour. I mean, they started changing at the end of the last couple of weeks of August this year. And it's like, oh my goodness, it is actually autumn coming. And I'm seeing these, I'm picking up these beautiful coloured leaves, and they're it's quite inspiring. There was actually a woman I saw, I can't remember if it came up on Facebook or TikTok, something like that, and she just paints the leaves, and it just inspires all sort of, crafts that you can do. But yeah, it's
I
that
love that.
collecting things, and the colors and the smells. There's something about the smell of the air in autumn. It's got this sort of richness, hasn't it? And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and you can smell the trees. That's one thing I always really notice in autumn is you can actually smell the trees. Through the summer, you might smell the flowers and things like that are on the trees, but from spring onwards. But in the autumn, it's this totally different feeling for you. And it is kind of calming.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the whole coziness of autumn as well. Obviously, it's getting colder, but I relate autumn myself to, oh, I'm going to be wearing my cardigan and I'm going to feel cozy and I'm going to walk around and have that cozy feeling and feel kind of, it's the air is fresh still. It's got a nice,
Yeah,
not still. The air is fresher because, like, in summer, it feels closed and it feels kind of murky and sweaty, but in autumn it's like somebody's opened the doors and there's a cool breeze and you can still get that warmth from your cardigan, but
absolutely.
you're enjoying the best of both worlds. There's a balance, I guess. I feel like summer is unbalanced. I'm just a hot sweaty mess in summer. But in autumn, I feel
Same.
like I'm not too cold, I'm not too hot. It's perfect. Every now and then there is a little bit of rain, and that's welcomed. It's cleansing, it's clearing. But I feel like on a whole, autumn is the most balanced season. Another great thing you can do, I'm just reading through one of my spell books actually.
Yeah.
And another great thing you can do, which I should really read my spell books more often because I haven't touched this one for a while, but it's got some lovely ideas in it. And with those things you collect, like the acorns and the pine cones and leaves and all those kind of twigs and bark you can find, you can make sure these are really dried out, maybe put them on your radiator if needed, is you can kind of make it into, now me and Emma have differing ways of saying this word. I say pot puree, she says potpourri. So let us know in comments who you think is correct. But yes, you could definitely dry them out, put them into a nice bowl, they'll look beautiful. You can add some essential oils to that, obviously, to make it smell nice, and cinnamon sticks, maybe a bit of nutmeg or cloves. And yeah, you can get quite creative with that. And that's a way to kind of bring in all of the smells of autumn. But that's a really great way to kind of represent the autumn equinox in a simple way in your home. That's kind of inconspicuous. So it could be on your altar, or it could just be a general home decor thing.
Yeah. It's actually a really great time to do your like garden. I wouldn't say tidy up, but go out there and collect some of the herbs and things that you've been growing. So um lavender, I mean some of them are still in flower, but you might be wanting to cut your lavender for drying. So I'll often do that around now. I'll get out there on a dry day. You don't want to do it when it's been a storm like today. But go out there, cut some lavender, cut some of your rosemary. What else have I got out there? Mint, and I've got lemon balm, and bring those in and get them drying before they just disappear into the.
Yeah, but actually, that's something I'm planning to do this month. Is I've never done it before, but I've got this lovely patch of ornamental grass that I've really been nursing, and it's nice and bushy, and there's lots of it now. And usually I just let it die out until the next year. But actually, I'm going to cut a load of it, and I'm going to hang it to dry, and I'm going to use it to make my next besom.
Oh, that's a
So,
really good idea.
I know, and it came to me just in, I was looking at it and I was thinking, because one piece broke off, and I thought rather than wasting that, I'm going to put that, because I have a little place where I kind of dry my hair
Yeah.
stuff, and I added it there. And then I thought, actually, that would work really well because it's so long, it's kind of perfect, and I can just imagine it really dried out and kind of brown and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to make use of it this time rather than just letting it go to waste. So yeah, I am planning to do that.
It is actually a really good time of year to make your own besom.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
collecting those twigs that have fallen and yeah, getting creative with it.
I
I
mean,
mean, we
I did the same for Autumn Equinox last year, but last year I walked around my local woods and picked up kind of some twigs and stuff and did it that way. But I think actually the ornamental grass will actually work well for like actually sweeping with it and stuff. Mine's more ornamental and
yeah,
I have it next to my altar. But I think this one could be more of a practical use kind of one.
yeah. I like that idea.
Obviously, I'm not going to clean my whole house with it or anything, but kind of
Yeah.
seems like the altar brush, that type of thing.
Yeah. And don't go crazy in your gardens. I'm saying like, you know, take things, but always leave some for the insects and the other creatures that enjoy your garden.
Definitely. It's that circle of life and
Balance.
yeah, that all comes into the balance side of things. And making sure we're appreciating nature as well. And when I do things like going for walks to collect things like that, I always take my time. I don't rush and I don't take too much. I go to an area of abundance and I take a part, and I always thank the plants for
Yeah.
their offering. I don't say that out loud in case there's people around and they think I'm crazy, but I do. I do. Well, they probably think I'm crazy anyway because I'm going around scavenging and putting my hand on all the trees. But in my head, I'm like, "Thank you for your offering, and do you mind me taking this?" You know, just be. Again, it's all coming down to that balance and that thankfulness, giving thanks for things. Okay, let's talk a bit about apples. So apples can be known as the witch's fruit. And I just find, I actually, when I was researching for this episode, found out more about apples than I knew before. I mean, I've always known they've got significance. And obviously we have the apple blessing in our current ritual for our Patreon as well. But it's really interesting because obviously apples feature in lots of historical kind of things and folk stories. So, for example, Snow White was put to sleep by the poisonous apple. In the Bible, Adam and Eve are thrown out of Eden after eating one. And also, there's a legend that the wounded King Arthur was spirited away by fairy queens to Athlone to the Isle of Apples.
Ooh.
And also, apparently, I didn't know this. Am I just? I'm not very up on my plants and stuff, but apparently mistletoe grows on apple trees.
Yeah, it will do. I mean, it's a parasitic plant, but it will grow on other trees
Oh,
as
I didn't
well.
know that. So lots of things kind of related spiritually and folklore kind of legends to do with apples. And the other magical thing about them is when you cut into them, you can kind of see like the perfect pentacle or star when you look into them. So there's a lot of kind of mythology around apples.
Yeah, I think the main mythology around apples when I was younger was, were you ever told not to swallow an apple seed in case it grows in your stomach?
It's like the whole thing of, oh, I only had curly hair because I ate my crusts and my bread. So yeah, apples can be used in many ways. Like I said, we've got a blessing, an apple blessing on our Patreon, but you can use it as a offering to a deity or goddess or god. If you wanted to, you could have fresh apples just out in your house, in your fruit bowl. That's a way to symbolize the autumn equinox and just generally eating them and maybe doing that in an intentional way. So you could think about bringing in new crystals for this time of the year as well. For us, though, crystals are more of a personal thing, and we kind of choose our crystals intuitively. So I wouldn't give a definite list of which crystals you should use for the autumn equinox. So Emma, you were saying that you're drawn more to those kind of crystals that have the autumnal colours.
Yeah, that's the thing. I work intuitively as well with them, and I tend to use my crystals when I'm doing my tarot readings or my oracle readings, and I will go for something that I'm drawn to. And this time of year, it will be those autumnal colours, like maybe citrine from, the yellow of the leaves. And yeah, so you just literally just use what you feel is right. There's not a
Definitely.
wrong one to use.
No, there's never a wrong crystal to use. And also that's drawing kind of on the colour magic side of things as well. I don't think, or I haven't noticed, I'm not sure, that I'm drawn to a particular crystal at a particular time of year. But maybe I am, and I haven't noticed that because I just do things kind of in the moment and on pure intuition. But I do change things out. So, like I said, I change my altar kind of with each season and festival. So therefore I probably do change some of the crystals on my altar, but I haven't noticed if there's a pattern as to what I'm going for. Maybe I will start recording such things so I can report back.
Yeah, I mean, I do notice it's again, it's that you do notice those things until you actually sit there and think, oh yeah, oh, that is something that I do. I was thinking about crystals that I was using over the summer, and nearly all of them were blues. So that's like representing the blue of the sky and the sea. And I was using fluorite quite a lot, and it yeah, so I do think there is a kind of a pattern to it. And talking about patterns, sorry, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here.
Are you going to talk about your oracle cards? Because that's what I just thought of.
Oh, yes. So, I draw an oracle card every single day. Okay. Oh, occasionally I miss one, but that happens. And I take photos of my oracle cards because I don't hold images in my head, so it helps me to be able to go and look back on them. Although often I take photos and I never look at that photo ever again. But I've taken photos of every single oracle card I've drawn over the past year from January. And there were certain cards that I was thinking, I see this one a lot. And I was going through them and I thought, you know what, I'm going to list them. So I sat and I did a table. So I listed all the different oracle cards,
Wow.
and then I marked how often each of those cards came out. Now, let me just, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to go and have a look at the, where's my list? I do like a list. So there were cards that never came out. Just a couple of cards that never came out, which that's fine. That's absolutely fine. One of them, Forgotten Arch. Now that one has come out a total of 22 times, compared to most of them coming out less than 4 times. That's a hell of a difference, isn't it? Why is that one card coming out so often?
Well, it depends what it says.
And
Stuff like
Bird.
coming out.
Yeah, so and Bird was another one that's come out 15 times. So they're both a huge amount ahead of all the others. I'll read to you what those cards say. So Forgotten Arch, that one says, take time to rest and recharge when needed. So I clearly need to be reminded that a lot, because for that to come out 22 times, yeah, is a hell of a lot. And then the bird one says, trust in the divine timing of the universe. So yeah, sorry, that was kind of going off on a tangent a little bit.
No, but it's interesting because I I try to take a photo of my cards, but I don't do it every time. It's only when I feel like that's an important message and I probably haven't fully taken it in. So I want to come back and read it again and take it in again. Although I most of the time forget to do that.
Yeah, same.
So if I was to take a photo every day and look back on it, maybe I would see those kind of recurring ones. I know there are some I definitely get more than others, but it's not until you do something like that that you see like how often it is. And it just
Yeah.
does go to show like you've got definite proof there that there are definite cards that are meant for you that you need to see more.
Yeah. I don't mind being told to rest more often. Trust in the divine timing of the universe, though. Oh, I'm getting bored waiting. But actually, this could lead on to it's not totally a tangent, because there's a tarot card spread that I think would be really lovely to share with everyone.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So I've got, this is a book I've had for a couple of years, called Natural Magic, or The Witch of the Forest's Guide to Natural Magic, by Lindsay Squire. And for Maybon, the tarot spread that she's got, so it's a 5-card spread. So your first one is, what needs to be harvested in my life? Your second card is, how do I welcome balance into my life? Third is, what areas of my life need balance? Fourth is, what good will emerge from the darkness? And the fifth is, how can I continue to grow? And I think that's a really nice tarot spread to actually do for this time of year. So I thought I'd share that.
Lovely. It kind of reminds me of the journal page that we have for our full moon members this month. It's got similar questions in it. So we do like reflective prompts on there and like a little activity and affirmation stuff. And it's kind of similar.
So if any of you actually do that tarot spread, I'd love to hear about it. So pop over onto our community page on Facebook. So that's just Which Way Next ?community, and tell us about it. Did anything in that tarot spread resonate with you?
Yeah, that would be lovely to hear. So that brings us to the end of our little seasonal deep dive and all the ways we can connect with this time of balance and change. So whether you mark it with ritual, reflection, or just by noticing the leaves starting to turn, there's something powerful and honouring about the shift. We're taking a short detour on our path to share a recommendation we think you'll enjoy. We'll be right back to continue the journey in just a moment.
Hello everyone, this is Emily from Cadoo in the Marlow Shopping Centre, Hemel Hempstead. Just letting you know that our workshop room is up and running, as well as our monthly tarot readers in store. Our workshops include how to do tarot yourself, as well as some witchy arts and crafts. Please come in store today for more information, or find us on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok.
Are you ready for another round of magical this or that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's do this. Number one, firstly, if you want to play along at home, because I always forget to prompt people to do this, feel free to do so. And if you want to jot it down and let us know again in our community group, we'd love to hear your answers. So, Emma, the first question for you is autumn equinox or spring equinox?
Oh, what? Right. So, although it feels like we're in the autumn equinox, so you think, oh, that's the natural answer. And I do love autumn. I love everything about it. The coziness, the colours, everything. Maybe not the cold weather that comes, but spring. Spring it's a rebirth, isn't it? And you feel, it's that promise of the new and the year coming. So I'm going to say spring.
Okay, I'm going to say autumn. For all the reasons that I listed earlier, I feel like, yes, spring is good and it's great because it's a renewal, like you said, and there's promise of new things. But I love the reflection of the autumn equinox, and I love kind of coming into the end of the season where you're kind of reaping all those things that you've had. And for me, I just prefer that season as a whole. I just feel like it's more where I belong. We both gave definite answers there, though. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, didn't we?
Okay, the next one. Harvest altar or seasonal wreath?
Harvest altar or seasonal wreath?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love a good wreath. Honestly, I think I've made so many this last couple of years for each season. It's not just a Christmas thing, is it? Wreaths you can use them to celebrate any season and change them and be really creative. And although I love an autumn altar, I like collecting my pine cones and you know colourful leaves and things like that. But the wreath is an all year round thing, so I'm going with wreath.
This is so hard for me. You don't know how much I love a wreath.
I've been to your wreath workshops.
Again, I make my own wreaths. I've run multiple wreath craft workshops. I always have a wreath on my front door for every season. They change out. But I also, like I said, I've talked so much in this episode about my altar, and oh, that's really difficult. Do you know what? I love my altar, but if I didn't change it for autumn, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd still harness the power from it. Whereas, is that true? Am I lying? I don't know. I'm gonna go with wreaths because wreaths are really important to me. And actually,
Yay!
even though I make my own wreaths, I'd like to give a quick shout out actually to a lovely lady who lives locally to me, but she does have a website, and her website or her business name is Mrs. H's Decorative Delights. And like I said, I can make my own wreaths, but I absolutely love hers, and I am making it my mission to have one from her for every season. And that's what's on my front door. And hers are just so beautiful and massive, can I add?
Yeah.
I don't think the website photos do them justice, even though they do look beautiful on the website. They're always much bigger in person than you imagine they are. So yeah, I know she does listen to our podcast as well. So you can find her on Facebook, Mrs. H's Decorative Delights, if you are interested in getting a wreath. Just because I just think they're amazing.
They are awesome. I've seen them on your front door, and yeah, they're just
honestly, there's so
brilliant.
often that because I have like, I know it's a weird setup, but I have like a mirror by my front door in my hallway, which is where I do my makeup in the morning.
Yeah.
And there's so often people are walking past in the morning, and honestly, nearly every day I hear somebody commenting on the wreath on the front door and how beautiful it is. And especially around spring, because I've got one with like a bunny butt on it and all the kids just love it. So they're like, "Mom, look at that." And then the mum's like, "Oh, it's actually really beautiful." So yeah, just a shout out to her if she is listening. And yeah, if you're looking for a reef, have a look. Moving onwards. I still don't know if I'm happy with my answer. I'm like, but the altar. Okay, so our final one of the month. What should I go with? I've got a few really good ones in front of me here. I'm going to go with Crunchy Leaf Walks off Cozy Fireside Spells.
Crunchy Leaf Walks. I love getting out.
I was like, is that it? I thought you were just going to say Crunchy Leaf Walks, the end.
Yeah, the end, that's it. Well, I mean, I don't have to explain it, surely.
They're leaves, they're crunchy, I walk on them.
Yeah, no, but it's that, I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier in the podcast, it's that getting out there and the smells. It's like, and I mean, taking you back to when you're a child and there's a lovely big pile of leaves and kicking those around. That's not just for children. I do that. I have to. Just make sure there aren't any hedgehogs in there before you boot it. No, yeah,
Image in my head.
Sorry.
Thankfully, that's never happened to me, and I kick leaves often. But now, every time I go to kick one, I'm going to remember you saying that.
Oh, and watch out for, it's that time of year when the dog poo is disguised.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
Again, luckily, never happened to me. Touch wood.
I had to bring the tone down a little bit. I'm really sorry. No, I'm not sorry.
I didn't think you were.
This is how my brain works.
I totally agree. Crunchy Leaf Walks all the way. I mean, I can do spells anywhere. I don't need to be by a fireside. Fire does help. I use flames in my things, but a candle will do fine. But I just love, and I'll walk any time of year. Unfortunately, my family don't feel the same. So I don't get to walk as much as I'd like to, just because I don't really feel safe going on my own all the time. But I would walk every day in all weathers if I could.
Well, do you know what? Once Sage can go out on walks, you'll feel better about it. You'll feel
Also, that
safer.
means that at least not all my family, but at least my hubby will feel like he has to come out for the walk because it's to walk Sage. So
Yeah,
then he will have no choice.
yeah, exactly.
Not on. So yeah,
It's a good excuse. I mean, like with Kiyoshi, me and
I
Dan
cannot wait until she
walking.
has to go for walks, honestly, because I need to go for walks, but no one's walking me.
No.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our magical this and that for this month. I feel like we gave like really good answers there. We weren't, I mean, it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as usual. Usually we give up and we don't give an answer. Which I've noticed. So we've started doing Wednesday Witchy This or That on our social media. And most of the conversation of that in the witchy groups I post it in is, I can't choose between this. And that's most of the comments. And I'm like, it's okay. We do this on our podcast and neither can we.
It's tricky, isn't it? It's one of those, and it's subjective and it depends when you're thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? You ask me it on a different day, I probably have a different answer. So
Definitely.
yeah, but it's fun.
It is fun and it gets your brain thinking.
We are now drawing to the end of this episode. And before you leave, I'd like you to join us for a reflective moon moment. Take a moment, wherever you are, to pause and breathe. As the light and dark meet in balance, ask yourself, what am I still carrying that I no longer need? And what quiet gifts am I ready to receive as the seasons shift? Like the trees letting go of their leaves, trust that the release is part of the cycle. You don't have to hold it all. This is your invitation to honour the harvest within, the lessons, the growth, the strength it took to get here. Let the stillness of the season hold you as you gently reset. Thank you for listening to this episode and being part of our journey. To continue the conversation, we invite you to join us on our Facebook group, Which Way Next Community. You'll be asked the questions, what are the names of the hosts? The answer is Med and Emma.
You can also find us on our Facebook page, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. If you want to get in touch to share a listener story, question, or to work with us, our email address is whichwaynext@gmail.com. And now, of course, you can also join us on our Which Way Next Patreon. So you can search on Patreon, Which Way Next ?podcast. So I've been Med.
And I've been Emma. Join us next time where we ask the question, which way next?
Coming into the Richcraft side. Richcraft.
Richcraft. Oh,
That's what I need, some Richcraft.
yeah.
Oh, the abundance. Bring me the abundance.
To be honest, most of my witchcraft has been around the money side of things. So that's why I call it Richcraft.
So that brings us into the witchcraft side of things and the rituals you can do around that. So
Rituals.
stop it. I was doing well. Richcraft and rituals.
Oh, dear.
So that brings us into the witchcraft side of things and the